Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is September 27th, 2021. It is not Victory Monday. It is Sad Monday. We got a case
About
of the
morning Monday?
We got a case of the Mondays.
That's true.
Yeah.
We do.
Horrible feeling yesterday. And it was funny because we're sitting there, it was probably about halfway through the fourth quarter, and we went, wow, we forgot what this felt like.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It was a very, very strange feeling. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't know. I'm just calling you. Though the intro is a little bit wrong. We did have a goal to go 17-0.
Yeah.
So that dream was shattered. I guess better it's shattered now than, 9 games in.
Right. Or in the playoffs.
Yes.
It's to the Rams, this was a playoff game. To us, this was week 3.
Seriously.
It wasn't. They were so much more on fire. I mean, you saw Coach McVay was just running up and down the field. Every time they made a good play, he was like
an idiot.
Yeah, acting like they were winning the Super Bowl.
I know.
And, to them it was.
I know. They had celebrities up in the boxes. The whole
oh my gosh.
cast of Ted Lasso was there.
Yes.
You had musicians, actors.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was there for this game.
Yes. And
imagine blowing your wad on week 3.
Is this the pinnacle of what they're going to be? This is it. We'll see. They played a good game, I thought. They were much more physical than us. Mm-hmm. And dude, the quarterback, he's a real deal. He was slinging it out there. He was making good decisions and good accuracy and everything. But we got a lot to talk about in this game. We got a lot to talk about. Before we do that, though, I want to get to something extremely important.
Okay.
Gay stats. Just get this out of the way.
I was like, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, what's Ralph going to say?
Just get this out of the way so we can start grousing about this performance on Sunday.
Okay.
Gay stats. Our boy, Carl Nassib, used to be the defensive end, right? He was a defensive end?
Yes.
Was he here before? I can't remember.
He was here 1 year for Bruce Arians, where he was an outside linebacker.
Okay. But he played with us, and we loved him. We thought he was great. We were sad to see him go, but we were glad to see he would go and get more playing opportunities, although it doesn't appear that way. We'll talk about that in a second.
I thought he was going to.
So this week against Miami, gay stats, he is the first openly gay NFL player.
Active.
That's right. Active. Man, it's such a long title. First openly gay, active NFL player. And he recorded 4 tackles, only 1 solo, 3 of them were assists, and he got a quarterback hit. He played 24 defensive snaps, which was 29% of the game. Now, it's getting lower every week. First week, he played 44% of the snaps. Second week, he played 38% of the snaps. This week, he played 29% of the snaps. So, he's got to get that gay meter up or something, man. It's not, maybe Gruden is just like, you got too much attention, son.
Yes,
That's
the
how he
media
does
is
it.
reporting too much on it. And I saw another tweet from a journalist, or a sports writer, rather, person who writes about sports, lamenting that he wasn't a bigger deal this weekend.
Well, he needs to listen to our podcast because, we are doing gay stats every week. It's important. We need to know. I can't wait till, a player comes out with a foot fetish. I'll do foot fetish stats. First openly active foot fetish player.
They're there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably more of them.
That's a real big fetish, man. It shocked me when I first found out about foot fetishes. I was like, what the? And surprisingly, it wasn't through the internet. I knew a guy in real life who had it. I was just like, what? That's a thing? Anyhow, so far this year, the first openly gay active NFL player has recorded 5 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble, setting records every week.
Every week.
Every week.
And we're here for it.
All right, enough for the good news. Let's get to the game. We really wanted to do a podcast last night after the game. Molly was just...
I didn't.
You were talking... You talked for like 2 hours after the game about the game. And you even said, I wish we could record this.
I don't remember it. If
I know,
only we had a way to record things in this day and age, in this household.
Especially, mobile, because we were all over the house.
I know.
Well, we were a little tipsy, so I think it probably would have been not for the better. I'm sure the listeners would have enjoyed it.
You are fine tipsy. I slur. I get the slur. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's genetic because my mother does the same thing.
Yes.
So,
but Molly was cracking me up as soon as we lost. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, this kind of sucks and everything. And you were almost ecstatic. I mean, not ecstatic, but you were just cackling. You were like, oh, they done screwed up now. They
done messed up now.
Because you were like, Tom Brady is going to destroy them in the playoffs.
It's going to be embarrassing.
Yes.
And then we're going to go win the Super Bowl in their house.
Home stadium. Yeah.
Y'all done fucked up now. This was the worst thing you could have done. You should have let us win this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's 3 years in a row now they beat us.
We already had Mike Evans in the lead up to this game in his press conference saying, oh, I wish we had seen them in the playoffs last year so we could have beat them then.
Right.
So they already have a grudge just from the regular season last year when they beat us. And now they got 2. Like, it's over, dog. You're done.
Yeah, and you were saying, did they not see what we did to New Orleans last year?
New Orleans, I mean...
And you make good points. I mean, it was like New Orleans just stomped us in the ground twice.
Yeah.
One on national TV, very embarrassingly. Mm-hmm. And then we meet them in the playoffs, and we just ended it. We ended Drew Brees' career. So Matthew Stafford, this might be your last year playing.
Yeah. Well, he's 0-3 in the playoffs, so... I'm like,
yeah, right.
We got Tom Brady. You got Matt Stafford.
Yes.
Like, great.
Yeah, I would say, I keep a list every time when we play a game, whether we win or lose. I always write down, did we win? And if you've been listening to this podcast, I talk about this quite frequently. Did we win? Did they lose? Did they win? Did we beat ourselves? Did they beat themselves? Or did the refs decide the game? In this one, we beat ourselves. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Rams, although I'm going to. They played a great game. Like I said, they were much more physical than we were. And, they had a good game plan. Things worked out for them. But we just shot ourselves in the foot constantly. It was kind of disheartening. We brought our C game, maybe C+. They brought their A game. That's what I said. I said, if we don't bring our B game at least, they're going to beat us. I knew it was going to be a tough game. But besides that, the refs helped them out. Now, I had a friend of mine years ago, God, it was probably a decade ago. He'd never watched football. And I was like, how come you don't watch football? And he said, well, it's because they're all the games are fixed. He said everything's fixed. They're they have this stuff planned out. Certain teams win, certain teams lose, blah blah blah. And I thought it was
that is a conspiracy theory,
right? And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy per se. We're all conspiracy theorist people. We all believe in at least one. Mm-hmm. Yes, and. But I trust
JFK was killed by the CIA.
Yeah, see, that's Molly's.
Just can't convince me otherwise.
But this game made me think that. After watching this game and rewatching it, I was like, man, those refs, They were definitely on the side of the Rams.
I don't see how you can even say that just looking at the penalty yardage. I mean, they had 1 penalty for 4 yards. We had 7 for 41. Like, to me, the penalties were not even that significant.
Well, we'll go through them here in a second, and I'll show you why some of them were significant. Now, we lead the league in penalties. We have 27, and 12 of those are pre-snap penalties. Do you know who is at the bottom of the league?
The Rams?
Yep, 7. 7 penalties.
Total.
In 3 games.
Wow.
Yes.
We had 7 just this game.
Right. But they should have had a lot more. We will get into that in a second, and I can't wait to get to all 22 because I know it was a lot more. And these were just what I saw on the broadcast, and I wasn't even looking for penalties.
Do you think it will shut those people up who say, oh, the refs are always on Tom Brady's side? No, it won't. It'll never shut those people up. No. But I did feel like, there was something, you had all these, like you pointed out, there was all these celebrities there, the stadium, it was a big game for them. And this ref crew is not a ref crew we've had before. It was, they're an AFC ref crew. The ref crew was Craig Rolstad. So we haven't had them. I don't think ever. So it was very strange, and a lot of it was quite blatantly obvious. Even a couple times the announcers have mentioned it, but then they pulled back real quick from it. They always do.
Yeah. So anyhow, they were more physical. The refs were definitely on their side, and we shot ourselves in the foot. I don't think they beat us. We beat ourselves.
I just don't think we were playing on the same level. Like, I think we had no energy. Like, to me, we were very blah. Yeah. We were missing that fire with JPP. I think that was the big thing. But I also think that it's week 3 and we're not that concerned with going full bore yet.
Yeah.
I've always talked about my football theory of thirds. Like, the season is divided into 3 parts, and usually the teams who do well in the beginning, about week 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8, they always fall off. So you get like the undefeated teams who they're like, oh, they're going 7-0,
right?
And
like
then
the
finish
Steelers last year.
Yeah, and then they finish the season like 9-7, and you're like, oh, great, a lot of good that 7-win streak. Did you?
Yep, it happens every year.
So I just don't think this game was that important to us.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was more important to them than it was to us. And, we did look sluggish. And like I said, they were much more physical, had much more energy.
Yeah.
So, a few things of note. Sue, Vito, and Nacho split snaps. They all played 50% of the defensive snaps. I noticed a lot more, which that's unusual. Usually Sue and Vita are up in the, between 60 and 80%. So it's unusual that they only play 50%. I noticed it, and I think I want to say Troy Aikman even said something about how few times you saw Vita and Sue out there. We had Nacho out there with Goldston and McClendon and stuff like that a lot, so basically half the time. And that was very, very strange.
I think they're resting the guys. I just don't think they're going to play that many snaps until probably the last third of the season. Yeah. I think they're saving up their energy like they do in the game sometimes. I think they're doing the same thing with the season. It's such a long season. And again, you don't want to blow your wad week 3.
Right.
Like, it's not, you're not going to make it to the end of the season. So that's my theory.
Yes. I agree with you on that. On the thought that we shot ourselves in the foot, Pinion had 2 bad punts. One was really bad, 15 yards.
I know.
He doesn't do that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand what happened there. he had a couple bad, like he had 4 punts and only one was inside the 20.
Yeah.
Whereas the Rams punter, he had 3 punts and all 3 were inside the 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a huge factor. Your field position.
Yeah.
Not doing us any favors there.
Yes. And that just goes to show how, bad we played. It was us. That was us. It had nothing to do with them.
Right. And like Ryan Sucka missed a field goal.
Right. Right before the half. And that was really the turning point in the game, if you ask me. There was actually a couple plays there before that I'll get into, more about the referees. But, yeah, him missing that field goal took us in the halftime. We could have been, 4 away from them, but instead we were a touchdown.
7, yeah.
Yeah. So, that was kind of a, what? It wasn't even, it was a 49-yarder? It's not like it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, these things just don't happen. Gronkowski dropped a pass on a 3rd down. Beautiful pass, right in his hands.
Right off the fingers.
Then he dropped one in the end zone. And you're just like, that doesn't happen. This guy, he usually he'll catch a one-handed pass, like an elite receiver, and just bring it in like it's nothing. But he had 2 dropped passes at crucial times. Jamal Dean dropped an interception right in his hands.
Right in his hands. No one there. He should have had that.
Yes.
That one hurts. See, I would say the game changed right there, and that was like the first quarter. It didn't bode well for the rest of the game, I thought. I don't know. It was just our playmakers were not making plays.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. I mean, where was Shaquille Barrett?
Yeah.
Anybody.
We got like no pressure on Matt Stafford. Where's the pass rush? We had 1 sack for 12 yards.
Yeah, it was a good sack too. Golson.
Where y'all at?
He was out there. He was vicious. Mm-hmm. Vita was getting a little bit of pressure, but Stafford was just able to get the ball off before. It was kind of like how Tom Brady does. He gets the ball off before the pressure gets there. Vita, as a matter of fact, one time I think it was the Deshaun Jackson 75-yarder. The announcers are saying he's got all day. There's no pressure. As Vita Vale was coming down
like in his face.
Yeah, he hit Stafford as soon as he threw the ball. I wanted to see the replay of that because he decleated him.
Mm-hmm.
But that play, Mike Edwards, he fell down. Just tripped. It was like he went one way and decided to go the next and fell down. That's why it would have probably been an interception because he was way back there. He was there looking at the ball and just fell down. And that's how Deshaun Jackson was able to get that big pass. Yes, I think it was that play. And that doesn't happen. Here's a guy that had 2 pick sixes last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's falling down. Devin White, he didn't have a good game. He was our leading tackler with 7, but
and those numbers are just abysmal too. The tackles.
Yeah.
Like 7.
But I saw him miss 3 tackles, and he got in the way of Carlton Davis. Cooper Kupp got that big play, and he looked like he was wide open. Well, it was because Devin White got in the way of Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis was right with Cooper Kupp, and then Devin White got in his way, bumped him off the coverage. Very strange. So, yeah, nobody was stepping up. Nobody was making big plays. Now, Godwin and Evans, and Gronk made a few good plays. But really, other than that, Tom Brady played well, I thought.
Our leading rusher. We got a running quarterback, y'all. 14 yards.
And that's, going into this game, that's what I said. I said, if we can get Leonard Fournette going, or Ronald Jones, I didn't care who it was. I just thought Fournette would be better. Then we would probably dominate this game. But, we just abandoned the run so quick.
I know. 35 yards total rushing, and 14 of that was Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I think they had, Fournette and Jones both had like a 2-yard average per carry.
Everyone did, except Tom Brady.
Yes. So it was not a pretty game, but we didn't get our butts whooped. I don't feel like it was It was more us shooting ourselves in the foot. If we would have brought our A game, we would have won that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's exactly that. We didn't bring our A game. We were not in. I don't know if we weren't interested in this game or just figured the stakes weren't that high.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we have to travel. We had to travel all the way to
Yeah.
the West Coast, and it's a loud stadium, and we got some injuries, and
Well, and then you have to wonder, is Tom Brady looking past this game to next week,
yeah,
where we go to New England?
right. That's gonna be a big game.
It is a big game. So you're like, was this a half effort?
Yeah, I would have to say we definitely did not take this game as serious as they did. This is probably the biggest game on their schedule. Now, I think it's the biggest game on our schedule too, as far as competition is concerned.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Buccaneers were like, dude, this is a long season.
Yes,
We're not going to go out there.
Week 3 is not an accurate measure of where you are as a team.
No.
Week 13 is.
No.
Week 16.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we're 2-1.
Yeah.
We're fine. I can't believe Carolina's at the top of the division.
I was just about to say that. That's like the worst part of this whole thing is
they're
Carolina is leading the division. But again, who wants to blow their wad in week 3?
Right.
The Carolina Panthers do, apparently.
Right. I mean, they're leading the league in defensive stats, like across the board. They're just killing it, So, but we'll see. I don't think they're near that good.
No,
especially
they played
defensively.
terrible opponents. The Jets.
Yes, and they played the Saints, but Jameis Winston showed up, so
yeah,
that's an easy win.
And then
there.
who did? Oh, and then Thursday they played Lovie Smith's defense at the Houston Texans.
Yeah. So they played 2 of the worst teams in the league,
and then Jameis.
Right. So. I'm not concerned about the Panthers.
No, I'm not
all.
threatened at all by them. I mean, we don't even see them until week 15. So we don't see them until that's on. I'm trying to get Ralph to go. They're trying so hard. You guys, peer pressure him, please. It's going to be at Carolina. It's the day after Christmas.
It's not as fun going to a game that's not a Buccaneers. When you're not surrounded by Buccaneer fans.
But wouldn't it be awesome to watch them beat the Carolina Panthers in the Carolina Panthers stadium?
I could do that from TV, from my living room. Okay, so in the first quarter, you got Dean dropped an interception. Then in the first quarter, at 5:41, on 3rd and 5, Gronk drops a first down pass. It was pretty deep, too. Right off his hands. Then... the second quarter, 12:29, Matthew Stafford throws a completed pass short right to Tyler Higbee for 6 yards for a touchdown. Now, on that play, their offensive line, like the whole right side, came out for like a screen to the tight end, and they were blocking people left and right. Well, number 55, I think he's their left guard or their center, or their right guard or center.
These numbers kill me. That's a linebacker number.
And he held Levante David. Levante David was going to make the tackle, and he just grabs hold of Levante David and like pulled him so that he couldn't get to Tyler Higbee. I was like, what the? It's right there. But then again, so there they go. They score a touchdown on a penalty. Second quarter, 9:19 left. Tom Brady throws a complete short right to Ronald Jones. We got a penalty for illegal formation on this play, right? And you saw Bruce Arians sitting out there going, what the, he was trying to explain to them, the refs, and they didn't want to hear anything about it. I looked at this. I have no idea why they threw the penalty on this. It makes no sense. We did not have an illegal formation. To prove the point, and I think Arians did this on purpose, he did the exact same play. About 4 minutes later, we score a touchdown on this play. It was the exact same play, exact same formation, except reversed. Instead of, we had O.J. Howard and Gronkowski lined up together on the left when they called it an illegal formation. We had them lined up on the right. It was the exact same.
It's
same
in the
formation,
rulebook, Ralph. I mean, that's fine on the left, but the right, you can't be doing that. Why would they allow that?
Yeah, so he did it. He I know he did that on purpose. He was like, we're going to run that same formation. We're going to score a touchdown, and let's see if they call a flag this time. They didn't.
No flag.
Yeah. So if somebody out there wants to explain to me why that was illegal formation, I'm all ears. So we got screwed on that one. So then, let me see. The second quarter, 4:08, Chris Godwin, right, he goes in for a touchdown, right? This one you had... Yeah, no, I think this was the one. No, wait a minute. Yeah. Can't remember. Anyhow, O.J. Howard and Gronkowski are blocking, right? And this is like plainly obvious in the replay. One of the defenders just grabs hold of Howard's helmet and pushes his head all the way back. He's looking at the sky. Mm-hmm. And it was right there. It was right there. I mean, and the ball was running right there. Everybody's looking right there. The camera was right there. And here's the defender got hands to the face pushing O.J. Howard. And we ended up scoring a touchdown, but that should have been a penalty. How was that not a penalty? I don't know. Everybody saw it. So.
It's not a penalty if their number starts with 8.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford threw a touchdown to Cooper Kupp. Now this is the second quarter, 54 seconds left. They ran a bunch formation. They had 3 receivers out wide in a bunch, and we were playing man coverage, so we had our 3 defenders right there in front of them. They hiked the ball. 2 of their receivers went out and ran straight into our defenders. Ran into them.
Pick play.
Yeah, and one of them ended up getting in the way of, I think it was Carlton Davis, who was supposed to be covering Cooper.
I remember that. That was in the end zone, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cooper ended up being wide open.
Oh, yeah, and Carlton was like screaming for a penalty on that one.
It should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, the receivers just went straight out and ran into the defenders and then blocked Carlton Davis. I mean, it was so obvious. It's frustrating. You know, here it is. We're getting penalized for plays that, an illegal formation. It was not an illegal formation, but yet they're able to hold for a touchdown, hands to the face right in front of everybody, and then you got your wide receivers physically running into our defenders, basically blocking. They were doing blocking on a pass play. You can't do that. So that was aggravating. And then, with 51 seconds left in the second quarter, Tom Brady throws a pass complete short to Chris Godwin, who got us a first down, and they threw a penalty on Rob Gronkowski for offensive pass interference. It was completely bullshit. He didn't even touch the guy. I mean,
was it somebody else? Did they just call the wrong number?
They might have, but I don't know. But even the announcers were like, I didn't see what he did there. He didn't do anything. It was very strange. Very strange. So then, Evans drops a pass, 45 seconds left in the second quarter. That was unusual too. Actually not. Evans drops a few every game, it seems like. But then, here it is. We're trying to score a touchdown, and the score was 7-14 at this time. So we were trying to go in with a touchdown, tie the game up at the end of the half. Then, with 4 seconds left, second quarter, Tom Brady gets sacked by Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald hits his hand. The ball comes out. Mm-hmm. Giovanni Bernard ends up catching the ball and running for a first down. He ended up getting like 20 yards after that. Well, the referees, in all their stupid wisdom, decided to say it was a fumble, and it was a forward fumble, so they couldn't advance the ball. So instead of us getting 20 yards and first down, easy field goal range, it ended up being a negative 6 yard sack. But then when you look at it, the ball went backwards. When it got hit, Tom Brady's hand goes forward, but the ball went backwards into Giovanni's. So it wasn't a forward fumble. So we just got screwed. I mean, that's like 5 times right there where we got screwed by the refs. And we're not even in the first half. We haven't even left the first half yet. So anyhow, that ended up in us trying to kick a field goal, 49-yarder. We would have been at the 20, instead of, so it would have been a 37-yarder instead of 49 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a chip shot. And Suck-Up ends up missing the field goal. So we go in the half down a touchdown. Then they come out and like 2 plays, that's when they do that bomb to Deshaun Jackson.
That one's more irritating than anything else.
Yeah. And it was, it wasn't a breakdown in our coverage. It wasn't our guys, getting beat. Edwards slipped and fell down. You're like, what are the chances of this crap happening like this? So, anyhow, the third quarter, 14-19, Matthew Stafford throws it deep to Robert Woods. It ended up being incomplete, but both the right tackle and right tackle and left tackle. No, left tackle, right guard. They both false started, and they didn't get a penalty. I mean, how do you do that? How do the referees not see that? Yeah.
I know.
But of course, we got like 3 during this game. Yeah, so anyhow, on that Deshaun Jackson, 75 yards, Mike Edwards falls down in coverage. Both the announcers were saying that Stafford had all day to throw it back there, but he didn't. I mean, it was like 3 seconds, and Vita was coming barreling down at him. And I really want to see what happened, because Vita was coming at him from like 4 yards at full speed.
Yeah.
I know he decleated him. So anyhow, Deshaun Jackson, he's running in, right? We got 3 defenders behind him running at him. 2 of them are pretty close. And he like slows down and he turns around and he looks, and then he like goes to the right, instead of running straight in, he was going to try to be cute, and kind of like take his time. And then there was another defender coming up behind him, so he had to bring the ball up real quick, and he stepped into the end zone. And I was like, how isn't that taunting? I mean, if we're going to be nitpicky about the taunting, going to give our guys taunting for turning around before they go in the end zone, why can't you say that's taunting?
Right. You can. They just
you
chose
could.
Not to. Yeah.
Yes, you very well could have. And it looked to me like he said something when he turned around. And I think it was Mike Edwards that he turned around and said something to. He didn't turn all the way around. Maybe that's what it is. You can do 95 degrees, but not 180 degrees. Something like that.
They have to have limits, Ralph.
Well, then, speaking of taunting, the play that Gronkowski got hurt, this was the third quarter, 11:32. Terrell Lewis, number 52, he hit Gronkowski right in the ribs, tackles him. They go to the ground. He gets up and he stood over Gronkowski and looked down, and he said something to him. I mean, he stood there for a good second or two.
Yeah, isn't that taunting?
Exactly. I thought that was the whole reason why we had this taunting rule. Mm-hmm. So you can't stand over injured players and talk crap to them. But he did. No flag there. I mean, he did. He stood over top of him, and you could see him looking down, and you could see his mouth moving.
Yeah, you can tell when they're talking.
Yeah. So how come that wasn't taunting? Yeah. So no, it was Deshaun Jackson. Third quarter, 8 minutes, 12 seconds left. It's 14-21. Stafford throws a complete to Deshaun Jackson for 40 yards. That's the one where Devin White got in the way of number 24, Carlton Davis, and knocked him off of coverage. That was just boneheaded. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely not our best showing. They were not, again, I don't think they're firing on all cylinders at this point in the season.
Yeah. Third quarter, 6:07. Tom Brady got sacked by Kenny Young for a 9-yard sack. That was the running back got beat on a blitz pickup there. He just got clobbered. He tried to block it, and I think it was Giovanni Bernard. Not real sure. And then third quarter, 4:33 left. It's 14-28. Bradley Pinion punts a 15-yard ball from R24.
See, we were talking him up like just last week, and now we need a new punter. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah, he won the special teams player of the week.
I mean, know.
He just doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And it was 14-28 at that point. He punted it. He gave them the ball on, I think, like the 32, 38 of our thing. And then I think they scored a field goal. Yeah, they scored a field goal on that, and that put it up 31-14. Mm-hmm. So, we had plenty of time to come back, and we just didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of...
Yeah, and even in the fourth quarter, like, there was not a whole lot of urgency. It didn't really seem like we wanted to mount a comeback.
Didn't see, yeah, I was pointing that out. I was like, we're not hustling to the line. We weren't really doing a 2-minute offense.
At no point were we like, did it ever feel like they were trying to come back in this game?
Yeah. Yeah, third quarter, this is the third quarter still, 1:27. They're up 31-14. Gronkowski dropped a pass in the end zone. And then in the very next play, 1:22 left. Tom Brady throws it away out of the back of the end zone. You could say it was intended for Gronkowski. He was there, but Tom Brady.
He's not hauling in it.
No, Tom Brady threw it away. Number 5, one of their cornerbacks, stupid numbers. He comes running over from the left side of the field. And Gronkowski was right underneath the field goal, the left side of the field goal as you're facing the field goal. He was over a couple yards away from that. The ball was thrown over his head. It was not catchable. This guy, number 5, comes running over and hit Gronkowski right in the head. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and even Troy Aikman mentioned it. But It was funny because as soon as he mentioned it, he kind of he went, "Oh, he got hit in the head there." And then that was it. They didn't do a replay or anything. But now, I mean, you see Gronkowski's head snap back. And that guy came over intentionally to hurt Gronkowski and hit him in the head enough to snap his head back. And Gronkowski turned around and said something to him afterwards. And, it should have been unnecessary roughness, no doubt. But, he was a defenseless receiver. He wasn't looking. He wasn't expecting that guy. The ball was out of bounds. It had already hit the ground. This guy comes over and hits him right in the head with his helmet.
See, that is what I'm saying. I feel like they cared about this game more than we did.
Yeah. So that's at 1:22 in the third quarter, if anybody wants to go look that up. Just keep an eye on number 5. I mean, he comes running over there specifically to hit Gronkowski in the head with his helmet, and he does. Now, in the fourth quarter, 1:10, the score is 34-24. We needed 2 onside kicks to recover 2 onside kicks at this point. Now, we were saying in that fourth quarter when we were down 2 scores, we kept saying we need a turnover for our defense. Our defense needs a turnover. And we were confident we were going to get one, but they didn't. That was so strange.
And it was like they didn't even try. There was no, there's no oomph with this game.
No, it was very, very strange.
No fire. It was a very blah game, I felt like, for the Buccaneers.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like I said, we brought our C game. But in that first onside kick, or the onside kick, we needed to recover 2. We needed to recover the first one, score, do it again, and score again. and we needed to do all that in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Well, we did the onside kick. It was perfect. It was beautiful. And we had 2 opportunities for that. Our boy, 48, Grant Stewart, the Viking with the fluffy hair, he had it and slipped. Yeah, he was going for it and slipped and fell down. And then Winfield had it. He came over and he actually got his hands on it. He come running over and it bounced and it was right there for him. And he put his hands out and it like hit and he couldn't get a hold of it. I don't know what that was about. But I mean, we had 2 opportunities there to recover that onside kick, and we should have. And it was just like that was kind of summed up the whole game. You know, we had it, just didn't get it. We screwed up. We fell down, and then we let it bounce off our hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That pretty much is endemic of the whole game.
Yeah. It sucked. I wanted to win it. I wanted to go undefeated all season.
Yeah, I did too.
You know, and I think we could, but we just did not show up for this Rams game. Now, don't get me wrong, Rams are a good team. You know, they're the best team in the NFC besides us. You know, I would say best team in the NFL besides us. And we'll probably see them in the playoffs. Yeah.
We'll probably knock them out of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can bet your sweet butt we are going to be extremely physical next time we play those guys. Because they would just be, I mean, like after every play, you saw them like shoving and pushing us and everything, and we were not really retaliating a whole lot.
Although Jensen and Aaron Donald got into it at one point.
Yeah, that was funny.
But you were like, I knew you would. Knew you would, buddy.
Yeah, the ref had to get in between those two.
Mm-hmm. Who in their right mind would do that?
I know. Those refs feel invincible, don't they?
Well, they are. I mean,
you can't touch the refs.
You can't touch them. I'll kick you out.
Yeah. So the refs really blew this game. I felt, the illegal formation call. They need to explain that because there was no illegal formation, and like I said, they ran the same exact formation. Like 3 plays later, just reversed it. And I know Arians went up to the referees and pointed it out after the play. He said, yeah, we just scored a touchdown on the formation you said was illegal. So I think y'all need to go back and relook at that. But it was just a lot of little things where they were getting away with stuff that, it really made me think, are these refs seriously wanting the Rams to win? They were calling silly penalties on us. They called offsides. Levante David, they called offsides on him, and I swear to God he was not offsides. I'm not sure. I had to look at it in all 22. I couldn't see it on the broadcast, but it looked to me like he went as soon as the ball snapped.
Well, I mean, I think it's probable that the refs were terrible, but I don't think had they been decent that the game would have been any different.
I don't know. It would have been closer.
I mean, maybe, but I just didn't. I don't think we brought our A game to even be able to. I mean, we competed with them. We only lost by 10 points. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not bad. It's not like we got blown out by them, but we certainly didn't deserve to win that game, and it didn't feel like we wanted to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I haven't watched the press conferences yet, but it'd be interesting to know the psychology of these guys, what they were thinking going in, and how they felt afterwards. Mm-hmm. I mean, did they really care?
I know. I didn't feel that way.
I don't think they wanted to lose.
No,
but I don't know, man.
But how bad did they want to win?
Right.
It didn't seem like that bad. But I'm not worried about it. I'm just, it's just one of those games. Do they just want fuel for the playoffs? Yeah, it
could be that.
I don't know. They seem to feed off of it. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it was a winning formula last year.
Yeah, well, I don't like this whole abandoning the run as quick as we do. It's one thing I'm not a fan with Bruce Arians and Leftwich's system is, it's just the run game is an afterthought. And we do. Brady threw it, 55 times? Come on. We've run the most plays in the NFL of all teams so far. And I'm pretty sure that Brady has thrown the most of anybody in the NFL. And, I'd prefer him not to have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you want a balanced approach. You want to be able to rely on more than one part of your offense.
Well, we're seeing across the league, and we talked about this, that the quarterback play across the league is just absolutely atrocious, but the running is almost non-existent. I mean, even Tennessee is not running like they used to. Mm-hmm. There is no running team now. And
Ralph and I talked about running backs. It was like San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers. They had a couple years ago, they had Melvin Gordon, who was a stud, top 5 running back. Mm-hmm. And then they had Austin Eckler. Yeah. And Melvin Gordon held out because he wanted more money. And they said, no thanks. Mm-hmm. And it ruined his career. I mean, he's over in Denver. What's he doing?
Yeah. He was at Atlanta last year. Didn't do anything with him.
No, he wasn't. Todd Gurley was the one at Atlanta.
Todd Gurley.
Yeah. That's right. But Todd Gurley is another one. Perfect example from the Rams. Top pick in the draft. They paid him a lot of money. And then, where is he now? He was Atlanta last year. He got cut after a year. Mm-hmm. Where is he? I don't know. Comment below if you know. But it's like Ezekiel Elliott was the last of those running backs who they're the workhorse and they held out and got paid.
Yes.
He was the last to do that. He did it like 3 times. He ruined it for everyone else, apparently, because nobody cares about running backs anymore. That's how it feels.
The teams are not running. They're not running. If anything, they're doing like screen passes to their running backs. Mm-hmm. That seems to be huge this year. But the quarterback play is atrocious. Watching Matt Ryan, this year, I've always been high on Matt Ryan. This year, he just sucks, man. But I'm noticing this with all the quarterbacks across the league, and even Tom Brady's done this a couple times. They're just throwing the ball up for grabs whenever they're getting grabbed. When they're getting sacked, as they're going to the ground, I've seen them toss it over their shoulders. Every single quarterback is doing that. There's something is permeated through the league where, this is okay now. It used to be, you could never do that. You get chewed out if you do some crap like that. But now every single quarterback is doing it. It's like you're getting sacked, you're going to the ground. It's like, it's okay, just throw it up. Tom Brady's done it this year. There's something going on like that. But the quarterback play, I think, is just crap across the league. We're seeing good stuff. We saw Tom Brady played well. The Rams quarterback, he played well. Stafford. And, you're seeing some good passes and stuff throughout the league and everything. But, they're running and they're not sliding. Tom Brady's one of the few quarterbacks that slides. They're jumping head first.
Yeah.
They're throwing the ball up when they're getting, sacked. They're jumping up in the air and throwing
while they're throwing. Yeah. I know. They were talking about Pat Mahomes this weekend where he had one of those. He threw up in the air. Yeah. It got intercepted to the absolute shock of no one but the announcers. They were like, "Oh, we've never seen that before." Really? How could you not see that coming?
Yeah, and just bad form. They're throwing off their front foot, back foot, left foot. It's just ugly quarterback play out there, and it's like every team now. It's all about the quarterback. There is no running backs. Running backs don't mean anything. There's no team that is what you would consider a running team. It's just like it's just gone crazy. It's like the wild, wild west out there. It's like you get a quarterback and you just tell them, you just chunk it. Chunk it. If you feel pressured, chunk it. If you, we don't care about form. We don't care about precision. We don't care about intentional grounding calls. Just chunk it. Something weird going on. Dunno. Do know. Maybe towards the end of the year we'll start seeing more running. But I like running.
Yeah.
I like a good running team. But it's gone now. It's sad. I don't want to see, 100, 200 passes a game. Tom Brady threw it 55 times. How many times did?
38. Stafford. He had 38.
Okay, so that's what, 90 some passes.
93?
Good Lord. Whatever. And how many runs?
Yeah, both of us are not rushing attempts. We had 13. They had 24. So 37.
37 rushing attempts and 93 passing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yep. Don't know. League has gotten weird. But this is week 3. Tom Brady's fresh, 55 passes, not too, that's too many. But I don't want him to be entering week 17 having thrown 50 passes a week for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't want any quarterback to do that. But Tom Brady, he's getting up there in age. He's going to hit the wall eventually, theoretically.
We think.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to rush it. Get it here quick. Let's leave his arm. Let it get some rest a little bit. Let him hand it off. And defenses are going to start being completely pass protection. It's like we're great at stopping the run, but what good is that if nobody runs? Nobody runs on us. They don't even try. We have the most pass attempts on us in the league at 333, I think it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 60 more than the second place.
Yeah, the Rams had 76 yards rushing against us.
Yeah, and they did most of that in the fourth quarter when they were just trying to run off the clock.
Yeah. They had 24 carries.
Yeah, I think they went into the fourth quarter with like 10 rushes. I'm just pulling that number out of my butt. So
Okay.
But yeah, it hurt. It was a tough game. It was a tough loss. And it was very, very strange, that feeling,
I know.
Because for so long, that's what we were used to. It was like,
I know.
just another
It was
game.
every week.
Yep. For many, many years, we
Yep.
had a lot of upsets, losses. But it's been almost a year since we've lost a game, 300 and some days.
I think it was 301. Somebody tweeted.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, this is a weird feeling.
I know.
We
and that's why I just don't even care. I'm just like, okay, that's football. That's any given Sunday. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the game. And we've been very fortunate to not have to have this feeling for so long. But eventually it comes back. It's, you're not going to be good forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And, we played a good team. They played well. They had, I don't know how much they paid the refs for this game, but they gave them a large chunk of money to throw this game for them.
Maybe Sean McVay just let them hug his fiance.
Is she hot?
Yeah.
How can I be a ref?
Real quick. Yeah, remember that was part of the reason Jared Goff got canned, because he was in a group chat talking about.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, talking about Sean McVay's fiance.
Yeah.
Maybe his wife now. I don't know.
Wow. So
all of you are Googling Sean McVay's fiance at this point.
Half of them probably know.
Yeah. But are Googling just for good measure.
Yeah, or you reminded them, like, go check out Sean McVay. I'm going to do that right now. So, I know a lot of people are.
Are you serious right now?
Yes. Veronica, good Lord, what a name. Veronica Comine?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Not too shabby. Good Lord, she looks like she's 20.
He does too.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good looking couple there.
I know, they're so pretty.
Wow.
Like
yeah.
LaFleur in
What's his wife look like?
probably about the same.
LaFleur. So, I know everybody out there is grousing about our secondary. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, wait. We didn't even come out unscathed in this either. Bruce Arians said he's not sure about Jamel Dean, what's going to happen with his injury. But then we learned Scotty Miller has a pretty significant turf toe injury, and Adam Schefter is saying that he's going to be going on IR, and they're awaiting test results to see how long he'll be on there, but it's probably going to be a significant amount of time.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, Antonio Brown, what's wrong with him?
Oh, COVID. He's on the COVID list, so he'll be back.
He'll be fine.
JPP, they asked if he was going to return to practice this week, and Arians said no, probably not.
Yeah. What about Giovanni Bernard? He hurt his knee in that last touchdown.
I haven't seen anything about that.
And Gronkowski, he's okay?
I believe so.
I was worried about that. He took a hard shot. I thought for sure he broke ribs.
And, just that they took him to the locker room. And remember, last season was only his second completely healthy season of his career.
Yeah.
So he is pretty injury prone, though we haven't seen it here at the Buccaneers yet. So yeah, I saw him go to the locker room and that was concerning, but I was happy that he came back out and played and was okay. I was happy he was okay.
Yes, very much so. Don't want to lose him.
Right.
But, hey, that's football. You just deal with adverse conditions. And we didn't. But like I said, guys, I know it's such a foreign feeling for us. You go a whole year almost without a loss, and then you lose a big game like this to an opponent that, you want to beat and everything. But, dude, a few weeks down the road, we will completely have forgotten this game. I mean, who we got coming up next? Patriots. We got a string of tough teams coming up, right?
Hold on. Yeah, I have the schedule. So we've got week 4, we have New England. Week 5, Miami.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
Week 6, Philadelphia. That's a Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Then week 7, we have New Orleans.
Okay.
And then we got the bye, week 8.
All right, yeah. So really, after this Patriots game, we can cruise for a little bit. New Orleans, I don't know, everybody else is scared of them. I'm not scared of them.
Well, division games are just always tough, and if Jameis is still starting, he'll have a chip on his shoulder. So
yeah, everybody's got a chip on their shoulder for us, don't they?
Yeah.
So guys, it is a long, long season. We blew up the records. We don't have the 30 plus points, but we did set the record, so that's fine.
I know. Well, somebody, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Andrew Siciliano on NFL, from the NFL Network. He said, so we had scored 30 plus points in each of our last 9 games, which was the longest streak. And then the Rams had not allowed an opponent to score 30 plus games in any of their last 15 regular season games. So that was the second longest active streak. So they have continued their streak. They busted ours, which that sucks, but
yeah. Well, the only stats that matter is the win-loss column.
Which we didn't get that one either, so.
What? The win?
The win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're only one game ahead of us right now. It's a long season.
Know.
Yeah, guys, don't worry about it. We're going to have much more wins than we will losses, and I know it sucks right now, and everybody wants to blame penalties and secondary and linebackers and
coaches.
Defensive line.
I've heard, it's Byron's fault.
Whoever you don't like, you can blame them right now.
Yeah. I don't understand the blame game. Like, I just don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They played a better game.
Yeah. It's time to move on.
Yep.
move on to the Patriots. Hopefully, guys, I will have some All-22. Now, the All-22 did come out on Game Pass. It came out Friday, and it's a mess, man. I mean, it is absolutely horrible. I don't know how I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to make the videos with the new format they got. It's going to be really tough, so we'll see. But I am anxious to see this All-22 and see what get some more detail as to what really happened out there on the field and why we lost. So I'll share that with you guys. It'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday. So we'll have that in our next podcast probably. So you got anything else, Molly?
No.
I am starving. I am ready for some food.
All right.
Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Go Bucs.